So Empire actor Bryshere Gray is speaking up on his horrible experiences while filming Empire, and he is revealing how the messy issues on the show ruined his life.
So if you basically had anything to tell your fans or just people who support you or just wanted to put out your side, what would you tell them, or what do you want?
Hey man, don't listen to everything you see on the internet. Everything on the internet is not true.
So it turns out that Bryshere was faking it for the entire internet while he was on Empire. But he has gotten sick and tired of staying silent about the real drama that went on behind the scenes, and he is now spilling some spicy brews of tea, all about what really went down. Now there's a lot to unpack here, so I need y'all to get ready because the tea is hot.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. Up first tonight, we're following breaking news in the arrest of Bryshere Gray, one of the stars of the hit show Empire. Tonight, we're seeing hours of new video from his July.
So Bryshere Gray has been a trending topic on social media, and people have been wondering where he has been. He literally went from being a breakout star on one of the biggest television shows at the time to just going poof and disappearing from the industry without a trace. People have been wondering what on earth happened to him because he had a very promising career ahead of him. He was young and was already making a name for himself in the industry, so we all expected to see more and more of him. But that was not the case because it kind of feels like his career ended on Empire. Well, Bryshere has finally decided to come forward and reveal what really happened to him and why his career has seemed to gone down the drain, and it looks like he is blaming Empire for ruining his career before it even had time to take off completely. Empire is the only reason Bryshere got put on the map in the first place, so how on earth did it ruin his life? So let's begin to unpack, friends, and for that we're gonna have to go all the way back. According to Bryshere, he never really wanted to be an actor because he was too focused on trying to be a rapper. He started rapping when he was 16, and that was the only thing that mattered to him. He gave himself the nickname of Yaz the Greatest, and let him tell it, he was super dedicated to his craft. And even though he was very young at the time, he knew that he had to put in the work if he really wanted to become a big-time rapper. So he got a job at a local Pizza Hut and used his paychecks to pay for a music video, studio time, and all sorts of stuff like that. He hated the job, but he stuck beside it because he needed that money to pay for his music stuff. Well, he ended up losing his job because he was just too focused on the music. But losing his job didn't make him stop his grind. He just started to promote heavily on Facebook and social media instead. Well, things changed for him when he had a chance encounter with a man named Charlie Mack, who had some connections in Hollywood. Charlie would then later become Bryshere's manager, and he put some calls across to people, and in a couple of days after meeting Bryshere, he got him an online audition for Empire. Bryshere ate that online audition so bad and left no crumbs, and he was invited to LA to an audition in person. The second audition also went great, and he landed the role of Hakeem Lion on Empire. Now at the time, Empire was one of the biggest shows on TV, and Bryshere immediately became an overnight star. Charlie Mack even introduced Bryshere to Will Smith, who became something of a mentor to him.
Right.
It's like Uncle Will, you know? Who is best to give you advice? And it's Will Smith, and I'm getting so much good advice. I got my first acting role, Empire, and it's changing my life, and it's like I'm listening from the greatest, and it's like making me.
He was in his early 20s at the time, so he still had a lot of growing up to do. And luckily for him, he had a couple of older castmates that were more than happy to show him the ropes, both for surviving in Hollywood and in real life. He spoke about this in an interview saying, "I learned how to treat a woman from Taraji. She teaches me things on life experiences, cookies for me, Jesse, and Gabby. We hang out outside of the set, and it's like a real family. They've been in the game longer. You really have to listen, and it saves you from making mistakes they may have made." Now, Bryshere was still a newbie in Hollywood, even though he was part of a hit show, and to his credit, he kept a level head and stayed humble, saying, "My acting abilities are not that developed yet. TV and film will make you grow fast. Things I'm learning now, I was taught in high school, but wasn't interested in it then, but it's catching my interest now, like learning scripts. You gotta wake up mentally and prepare yourself. You gotta be ready for that." He had a great attitude, and he continued to put in the work to make himself better as an actor, and he saw results. He landed roles in other movies and shows and even put out some songs. He had plans to release a full album, go on tour and all that stuff, but that never really happened because things started to go very, very wrong for him, and it started on one tiny little arrest. His problem started in 2019 when he was pulled over by the cops in Chicago for a random stop, but things got kinda serious after the cops discovered that the documents on his car didn't match the registration. It got worse when he was discovered to have been also driving without a license, and he was booked on a misdemeanor and released later that same day. While it wasn't that big of a deal, it did go on his record. But that was not the last time that he got in trouble with the law, but it went from being a tiny little misdemeanor to more serious issues that eventually cost his career. The interesting part about this is that more serious issues started after Empire ended, and I don't think that this was a coincidence. So after Empire ended and he had to move out of the apartment he was renting, he left behind a huge mess, and I mean this literally. The landlord sued him and claimed that the apartment was trashed and the toilets clogged with used condoms, but that wasn't all. The landlord also claimed that Bryshere left dog poop smeared all over the apartment and that the damage cost about $26,000. But that's far from being the worst of it, because he soon started to get in some very serious trouble. In July 2020, a woman named Candace Jimdar ran into the streets and begged a random passerby for help, claiming that she was a victim of DV and that her husband had been violent towards her. The passerby went with her to the police, where she claimed that she was Bryshere's wife, and that's how we found out that Bryshere was married, because he kept it very low-key.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Up first tonight, we're following breaking news in the arrest of Bryshere Gray, one of the stars of the hit show Empire. Tonight, we're seeing hours of new video from his July arrest that ended with his wife flagging down police and telling them the actor had assaulted her for hours inside their Goodyear.
Candace claimed that Bryshere put hands on her and choked her until she passed out. She also claimed that she had confronted him about cheating on her, which made him angry and led to him putting hands on her.
The alleged crime, brutal. Gray's wife calling 911 after escaping him at a Goodyear QT, claiming Gray punched her hundreds of times, strangled her, and threatened her with a knife.
The police sent out a unit of negotiators to her residence, and Bryshere locked himself inside the house, and the police negotiated with him for 9 hours before he agreed to surrender. He was charged with a felony aggravated assault, a misdemeanor assault, and a misdemeanor disorderly conduct. His mugshot went viral on social media, and people couldn't stop talking about how different he looked, with some people wondering if he used drugs. He ended up taking a guilty plea for DV and pleading guilty to felony aggravated assault, and he was sentenced to 10 days in county jail and 3 years probation. Needless to say, he and Candace broke up after that, but Bryshere didn't learn his lesson, and in October 2022, he was hit with yet another case. The police responded to a call of a domestic disturbance at his residence, but the exact details surrounding the incident were not made public. Then, a couple of weeks later, TMZ reported that he was arrested on DV charges again, after a woman who claimed that she was his girlfriend went to the police and claimed that his behavior was escalating and she was concerned for her safety. She also claimed that he put hands on her, threw food at her, and even pulled her by her hair. This was a violation of his probation, and he got locked up again. Yeah, y'all, he has messed up his life for real. But why on earth is he blaming Empire for his misfortune? Well, according to Bryshere, he feels like the show should have done a better job of preparing him for life in the spotlight. According to an insider, Bryshere feels like they just picked him up, threw him in the limelight without any preparation, and they dumped him when they were done using him. The insider claims that Bryshere was allegedly unsure of what next to do when the show ended, and coupled with the fact that he had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and ADHD, things just went sideways from him and he lost it. The source also added that Bryshere is willing to make a comeback to Hollywood, and he has been putting in the work to convince movie producers that he has put his messy past behind him and is now willing to put in the work to fix his career. He seems to have the support of fans, and they left comments saying, "He most definitely deserves a second chance. How many other artists have been going through some really deep stuff and came back with a bang? Someone go reach out to him and offer him another chance, advice, and a shot at trying it again. Everyone needs someone, and we all make mistakes, and if he's learned from his mistakes, why not give him a second chance? He could surprise us." But what do y'all think about this? Do you think Bryshere deserves a second chance, or do you you think that he already blew his chance? Drop your thoughts and comments below and then check out this next video.